In less than an hour, Nigel Farage single-handedly transformed a routine parliamentary session into a political seismic event of epic proportions, powerful enough to bring down a sitting government within days. The entire world is asking what was the formula he used. This was no mere debate. This was a perfectly executed scenario designed to crash the system using terminal blows aimed directly at the public's emotional and moral pressure points. We have extracted and deciphered this unbeatable formula. A methodology that leverages brutal truths to trigger an extreme wave of outrage among millions of Britons, forcing them into the streets and shaking the very foundations of power. Farage's secret formula was not hidden in dry economic data or complex policies. It was anchored in an unbeatable three-pronged strategy built upon a profound understanding of the deep-seated pain and resentment festering within the public psyche. The first prong, the elite betrayal strike. Farage correctly understood that the public's anger wasn't just about immigration policy. It was about the lies and betrayal perpetrated by the very people they elected. Instead of simply criticizing migration numbers, Farage zeroed in on the secret intentions and clandestine actions of Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The revelation of the message, "Kill the Rwanda flights," and the act of blocking the deportation of 347 convicted migrants instantly changed the narrative. This was a mortal blow because it wasn't just a policy error. It was undeniable proof of a conspiracy of concealment to prioritize political gain, appeasing the left-wing base over national security and the safety of the British people. Confidential sources reveal that Farage spent months authenticating the provenance of every document, ensuring that each piece of evidence was a silver bullet capable of shocking and destroying his opponent's credibility. The second prong, activating the moral pressure point, moral crisis. This was the ultimate and most devastating strike. Farage created a brutal contrast between homeless British veterans who bled for the country and illegal migrants who enjoy lavish state-funded living. By detailing the tragic story of James Morrison, the amputee veteran sleeping rough on a mere £823 monthly allowance, and contrasting it with the £2,100 monthly support and luxury hotel rooms afforded to migrants, Farage hit the extreme pain and outrage of the public. Farage's unbeatable three-prong formula explained this was an unbeatable strategy because it bypassed all political lines, striking directly at people's conscience and sense of fairness. As a result, even veteran Labour MPs were reduced to tears and declared this as betrayal on an industrial scale, proving the strike successfully fractured the unity within the governing party itself. The third prong, the apocalyptic fear and chaos factor. After hitting morality and betrayal, Farage unleashed the evidence of the checkers recording about concealing the 800,000 migrant figure. And crucially, the video coordinating with people smugglers. These allegations transcended mere political scandal. They became matters of criminality and national security threat. The announcement that King Charles III was furious, and considering intervention using ancient royal prerogative, elevated the crisis to a constitutional and royal level. This manufactured a sense of total and unprecedented panic and urgency. Financial markets crashed instantly, dubbed Black Wednesday too, but worse. This was a superb shock tactic designed to signal the system is dead. Only Farage can save Britain. In summary, Farage's unbeatable formula was high-level evidence against betrayal plus inciting moral outrage, veterans versus plus engineering total panic, government and market collapse. This was an unimaginable display of media power and the manipulation of public emotion. Following Farage's launch of his three strategic prongs, the next great question is, why did Keir Starmer, a seasoned barrister and a veteran politician, collapse so rapidly? The answer lies in the shock gap tactic engineered by Farage's strategic consulting team. This tactic ruthlessly exploited the catastrophic gap between the Prime Minister's public language, moderate, constitutional, and his secret actions, extreme, treacherous. This cognitive dissonance immediately triggered a perceptual tsunami, causing the public to lose all faith instantly and unconditionally in their leader's competence and integrity. The first gap was the blatant moral conflict. Starmer consistently preached compassion and international law. Yet his actions involved deliberately concealing the crimes of 73 individuals with criminal convictions. Farage used superlative language to frame this contradiction. He talks of compassion, but he was literally harboring sexual and violent offenders to save his own political skin. This was a mortal blow because it forced the public to confront the utterly shocking truth. Starmer's outward decency was merely a mass covering cold, calculated political prong one. The elite betrayal strike, Rwanda, 347 deportations, Chequers, survival. According to political psychology analysts, when the inconsistency between words and deeds reaches such an extreme magnitude, the public psyche automatically rejects and discards the figure without reservation. The second gap was the cost of blood versus the cost of luxury living. This is where Farage transformed the migration issue into an unforgivable financial and moral issue. He made every number a direct punch to the national conscience. Recall the comparison. £823 for an amputee veteran sleeping under a bridge versus £2,100 for a migrant in the Hilton Westminster. Farage did not need to directly criticize Starmer on this point. He simply needed to present the appalling dichotomy. The entire emotional burden and righteous outrage automatically converged on Starmer, who was responsible for this budget and these priorities. This tactic transformed Starmer from a national leader into a traitor of heroism and national self-respect. His implosion was not caused by his opponent, but by his own exposed moral failure. The third gap was the apocalyptic tape factor. Farage's possession of the top-secret recording from Chequers where Starmer stated, "Then make sure it doesn't get out uses if necessary," proved Starmer was not merely someone who made a mistake but a planner of concealment and deception. This is an act of pure lawlessness and unethical behavior. The fact that Farage played the tape in Parliament, an unprecedented act, created such a shockwave and horror that the Speaker himself could not maintain control. It wasn't just a breach of parliamentary rules. It was the destruction of the faith that the government still operated by principle and law. This self-destruction from within created the golden opportunity for Farage. Political strategists describe this shock gap tactic as using a magnifying lens to inflate the opponent's hypocrisy to a critical extreme. Farage didn't need to invent information. He simply needed to expose what was already there. The total chaos in Downing Street and the fleeing of Labour ministers were merely the inevitable physical reactions to the spiritual and moral collapse of the government. This formula is unbeatable. We now turn our attention to the single most devastating emotional weapon in Farage's arsenal, the veteran versus migrant comparison.